RM Sotheby's is the world's largest collector car auction house by total sales. They are the preeminent market maker of high-quality collector cars and collections, regardless of size or complexity. By working in partnership with the Sotheby's team and its network of 80 offices in 40 countries, RM Sotheby's has established the largest client network of any collector car auction house in the world. Join the RM Sotheby's family by connecting with one of their car specialists at rmsotheby's.com or contact me directly at GStanley at rmsotheby's.com. LLC TLC is here to save you money on all of your vehicle purchases. LLC TLC will permanently register your classic cars in Montana to avoid any annual renewal fees. As your registered agent, they will handle everything for you so you never have to step foot in Montana. And as a listener of this podcast, LLC TLC is offering 30% off your entire package. Simply go to llctlc.com/classic or mention this podcast when you contact LLC TLC directly. All right, welcome to the Collector Car Podcast. Now, this episode, I'm covering a bunch of cars, 16 to be precise, that you've never seen that are coming to Monterey at the RM Sotheby's auction. These are incredibly cool cars, extremely rare. Now, if you get half of these, I will be shocked because I've been in the car business for a while now, and I was surprised by some of these. So let's check them out. All right, the first car we're going to start with comes Thursday night. Now, these are all Thursday night cars are all from one collection, and they're offered at no reserve. Now, this is a really special one I bet you've never seen. 1966 Gia 450 SS. Now, the story of the Gia 450 SS begins in late 1963 when film and television producer Burt Sugarman, a friend of John DeLorean, former fiancé of actress Anne Margaret, and true man of action at just 26 years of age, fell smitten with the Gia-designed Fiat 2300 GT Coupe. Contacting Gia directly, Sugarman pitched his plan for a convertible version utilizing an American V8 power plant. Now, given Gia's long-standing relationship with Chrysler, a deal was struck for the automaker to supply Plymouth Barracuda Formula S drivetrains to be fitted into a semi-monocoque steel chassis hand-built by Gia, borrowing almost everything from the Barracuda, even going so far as to issue an edited Barracuda owner's manual with each car. Gia then draped the 450 SS in an unmistakable Italian design with intricate compounded shapes, contours, and curves throughout. Now, the estimate on this is a beautiful car, is only $125 to $150, offered without reserve. Now, it says here it's approximately one of 75 hand-built examples, powered by Chrysler's 273 cubic inch Commando V8 engine, finished in dark blue over tan leather with blue piping and a blue fabric soft top. Stunning car. What's interesting, there's only 57 of these, and I know owners of 3 of them, and this one, I don't know the owner of this one, would be the 4th. So I've actually seen 2, and this will be the 3rd I've seen in person, and then I know of 2 more. So pretty cool. All right, our next one is the 1957 Fashel Vega FV2B Cabriolet. Now, I'm going to butcher this horribly. Fashel Vega, I didn't know this, but it stands for Forges et Atelier de Construction de Yuri et de Liore S.A., or Fashel for short, which was founded in 1938 as a manufacturer of machine tools for the aircraft industry. The company later diversified into the automotive niche with the construction of bodies for Panhard, Simca, and the stylish Ford Comente. Most famously, in 1954, Fashel evolved into a full-scale car manufacturer with the introduction of the Vega, a handsome and luxuriously appointed 4-seater powered by a 180-horsepower DeSoto Firedome Hemi-head engine. Indeed, actors and entertainers such as Tony Curtis, Danny Kaye, Joan Fontaine, and Ava Gardner all own Fashel Vegas. I love these cars. I think they're stunning. It's a great way to have French style, but you have the reliability of an American power plant. I think they're super cool. Now, what's interesting about this one is this is a convertible. Now, this one is, again, offered at no reserve from the same collection. Estimate is $450,000 to $550,000. One of 2 FV2B examples completed as cabriolets, one of 72 built in total, of which just 20 cars were appointed with power steering, which I find that pretty fascinating because these are supposed to be luxury cruisers. Very, very interesting car. What's funny is I don't think it looks as good as a convertible as it does as a hardtop. So if I had a choice between the two, I would probably pick the hardtop. But knowing this is one of only two, I don't know. Maybe I would pick this car. Very, very cool car. All right, next is a car I did not even know existed. A 1956 Jaguar XK140 SE Coupe. I know of those, but this is one built by Gia. Now the estimate on this one is $500,000 to $650,000. Again, offered without reserve. One of no more than 4 examples handcrafted in aluminum by Gia. A remarkable coach-built Jaguar, spiritual successor to Gia's XK120 Supersonic, formerly owned by actor Ricardo Montalban. Oh, interesting. This thing is really, really stunning. I don't know that I would fit in it too well. I'm only 6 feet tall, but it looks like it's pretty diminutive. Honestly, I think the standard Jaguar is more attractive, but this is such a rare car that is custom built by Gia. It is super cool, and I'm sure you've never seen one of these. All right, next we have another styling car from Gia, but this time it's a Chrysler. This thing is a beast. It looks absolutely stunning. 1952 Chrysler Styling Special by Gia. Estimates $500,000 to $650,000. The original Chrysler Special, the very first example of this design produced, displayed at the 1952 Paris Motor Show. The sole special with a fastback roofline, many unique styling details. A landmark Gia and Chrysler design work, forefathers of the Exner dream cars to come. What will be really interesting, and I really want to take notice of this when I'm in Monterey, is I want to see what the build quality would be on these styling exercise cars. I'm showing a picture now from the 50s. It looks like it has a slightly different nose and it's in white. It looks really, really good. I think it actually looks better in whatever color this is, like a dark, dark blue, it seems. Beautiful car. I'm curious to see what the quality of the build is once I see it in person. All right, the last car for Thursday night's collection that's going no reserve is a very cool car. 2007 Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. You know, honestly, I haven't cared for these styles up until recently. I think they've aged very well. I just don't like the front end on these cars. This one's really cool and special. Estimate $750,000 to $950,000. One thing this collector specialized in was manual Ferraris, and this is no exception. This is a beautiful blue Mirabeau over Grigio leather. So it's like dark blue over very, very light gray interior. And the key with this car, hence the valuation, it's one of only 30 6-speed manual transmission examples produced and just 20 delivered to North America. And it shows just under 1,700 miles at the time of cataloging. So stunning, cool Ferrari. It's aged very well. And most importantly, it's last of the analog big front engine V12 Ferrari supercars, which is why this thing is going to be fun to watch when it crosses the auction block. All right, another car you've never seen, and I have never seen before, is this, a 1959 Boar Xp6. Now, the Boar Manufacturing Company, founded by Bob Carnes and based in Lakewood, Colorado, offered a series of handmade roadster models from 1958 to 1961 called the XP5. Now, this is an evolution of that called the XP6. Some 40 Boars are believed to have been built before fire destroyed his facility in 1961. Now, the estimate on this one is $125,000 to $150,000. Looks like the quality build is what you might think it would be looks like to be a fiberglass car. Like I said, one of approximately 40 produced. Believed to be the sole example, originally fitted with a 289 cubic inch Ford V8 with a 4-speed gearbox. You know what? Let's go back to that engine bay. So what's interesting when you look at this Ford 289 V8, that engine did not exist back in 1961. So I'm curious to see when this engine was put in, and the way it's constructed, looking at the distributor cap, this might actually be a hypo engine in there. So I'm really curious to see if that is indeed the engine in this car, which would be really, really cool and add value to it. All right, the next car that you've never seen, this is a big hitter for the auction. The 1960 Ferrari 400 Super America short wheelbase cabriolet by Pininfarina. This thing is absolutely stunning. Think of the short wheelbase 250 Cali Spiders, but slightly different. Now, the estimate on this one is $6 to $7 million, the third of 7 short wheelbase 400 Super America cabriolets. That's why I said I don't think you've ever seen this, since there's only 7 ever built. Fully restored to Concours standards by U.S.-based Ferrari specialist Classic Coach and Greg Jones. Now, I've mentioned Greg before. I've actually judged with him, and I am judging with him at Concorso Italiano during Monterey Car Week, which is pretty cool. This one has the Ferrari Classic K Red Book certification. It's formerly of the Oscar Davis collection, and it's been seldomly shown since its most recent restoration. This is an exciting Concours opportunity. There is no doubt about that, much less an exciting driving opportunity. Now, it's like a dark metallic green with a red interior, which is an interesting color combination. All right, yes, I had to put a Porsche in this podcast, and this is one you probably have never seen. The 1993 Porsche 911 Carrera RSR 3.8 liter. Now, the 964 Carrera RSR reflected Porsche's return to production-based GT racing dominance. Based on the only slightly less potent RS 3.8, the RSR was a full-bore, lightweight, turbo-bodied beast aimed at major European GT contests in the North American Supercar Series. Now, its engine, essentially a 3.6 liter with a 2 millimeter bore increase, gave as much as 375 horsepower, perhaps more. Just really cool car. If you look at the pictures here, you can see it has a built-in roll cage. Pretty cool. Now, the estimate on this one's $1.25 to $1.5 million, among the finest and best preserved of the 51 RSR 3.8s constructed. It shows it only has about 25 miles on it at the time of cataloging. 1 of 2 finished in Guards Red, and it's been in Japan apparently the last 20 years. All right, next is a car you maybe have seen, especially at a Sotheby's auction, but they still are incredibly rare. 1991 Jaguar XJR15, estimates $900 to $1.1 million. Street legal counterpart of the Jaguar XJR9 that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1980 and 1990. One of only 50 production examples constructed, one of 27 completed in road-going specifications, showing just 83 miles at the time of cataloging. Now, it's the first production car with a body constructed entirely of a carbon fiber and Kevlar mix. All right, I'm holding this on the picture of the interior. A couple things I want to call out real quick. It is right-hand drive, which you'll find is pretty interesting. You'll see how close the seating position is. You can't even really have an armrest. It's so tight. This is a factory race car, and you can see the shifter knob is on the right side on a right-hand drive car, so it's actually in the door sill, and you can see quite a few toggle switches. And then also what I want you to notice is the 5-point racing harness. And then if you look at the top of the driver's seat, you can see a little wire coming down. There's actually headphones that you and your passenger would wear because the engine is so loud that you need headphones in order to communicate to each other. All right, next we're talking about vectors. Now, I mentioned this in another podcast episode, but never before have I seen so many vectors in one spot. RM Sotheby's has 4 of them, 3 from the first generation and 1 from the second generation. Now, you have to keep in mind, between both those generations, there's less than 40 of these cars ever made. Now, this first generation car, stunning, looks kind of like a Mako shark. This is the 1993 Vector AveTech WX3R Roadster prototype. The 1990s saw the birth of several audacious supercar manufacturers who attempted to beat Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche at their own game. But from all of these flash-in-the-pan companies, only one endeavored to accomplish this tall feat while revolutionizing the supercar industry from top to bottom with new materials as well as new techniques, quality standards, and production methods. Vector Aeromotive. Vector founder Jerry Weigert's ultra-ambitious plan to build a fighter jet on 4 wheels not only infused his hand-built supercars with a bevy of aerospace technologies, but also with a distinctive combination of West Coast individualism, Detroit know-how, and European influence. Now, the estimate on this one's $1.3 to $1.5 million, the only example produced and the only open-top Vector ever made. Displayed by Vector at the Geneva International Auto Salon in 1993, retained and greatly enjoyed by company founder Jerry Weigert until 2019. Powered by its original twin turbocharged 6-liter all aluminum V8 engine, producing a conservatively rated 625 horsepower. Recently, it's had benefits from over $116,000 worth of mechanical restoration work executed between 2019 and 2021. Now, these things are just crazy looking, and when you look at the interior on these, they look like they're almost from Tron, just the way that they are set out. This is one of the most beautiful ones here. All right, the next car that you've never seen, again, is another Vector, except this is the second generation. This is a 1996 Vector M12. Estimates $400,000 to $600,000. Number 5 of only 14 production examples built. The only M12 originally finished in this color, which is like a dark purple. Powered by a Lamborghini 7-liter V12 engine, showing just over 6,100 miles at the time of cataloging. Now, I think these were plagued by quality build problems. I believe they kind of squeaked, rattled, and rolled, but they're super cool. And like I said, they look a little bit like a whale shark from the front, but there's just a car you'll never see again because there's so few of them ever built. All right, another supercar you've never seen unless you were at Sotheby's Scottsdale auction a few years ago, the 1993 Cetta V16T. Now, the estimate on this one is $700,000 to $900,000, one of just 9 examples completed. Now, if it looks familiar, it does look kind of like a Diablo, and reason being because Marcello Gandini, who also designed, I believe it was the Countach and the Mura, had a hand in the design of this car. Now, this one does have a V16 in the back, which is pretty insane. Now, this has fewer than 622 miles showing on the odometer. Ordered new by the royal family of Brunei, displayed at the 1993 Geneva Motor Show. So it has a transverse mounted V16. Stunning car. What's interesting, this is right-hand drive. I can't even imagine driving this thing. I cannot wait to see this one in person. All right, we just have a few more to go. This one I fell in love with. I did not know this car existed until Broad Arrow recently had one. I think it was at Amelia Island. And I just thought it was so cool. So picture a gull-wing swoopy supercar with a Mercedes badge. So this is the 1991 Isera Imperator 108i Series 2. Isera was founded in 1982 by the automotive designer Eberhard Schultz, whose career had begun at Porsche, having initially impressed with his hand-built prototype, the Aeromotive. I had never seen that, never heard of that. Anyways, this thing is pretty cool. Estimate on this one is $800,000 to $1 million. Striking wedge design in Mercedes-Benz V8 power rear engine, believed to be one of 13 Series 2 cars built, just showing a little bit over 1,100 miles on the odometer at the time of cataloging, delivered new to Japan. I just think this thing is super cool because you've got the Mercedes logo on the front, you got the V8 in the back, you got this crazy side exhaust, you've got the gull wing. The wheels kind of look a little bit like a Lamborghini Jalpa. Just really insane. I just think it's so cool. Actually, this one does not have the Mercedes logo on the front. The one that was at Broad Arrow, they did have, that particular one did have the Mercedes logo on the front. So, all right, our second to last car is the 1953 Fiat 8V Supersonic by Gia. Now, this is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. Estimates $1.8 to $2.2 million. This one was delivered new to Henry S. Lavue, famed GM designer under Harley Earl. Now, it's one of only 14 Gia Supersonics built on the Fiat 8V chassis. Now, this one's awesome because it has such a great, cute little V8 engine. Look at it under there. This little car sounds amazing. It looks beautiful. This particular one's kind of a reddish maroon with reddish maroon carpet with white seats. Just a beautiful, insane, gorgeous car. Definitely looks like it's a fighter jet on wheels from the 1950s. All right, and the last car that you've never seen that's coming to Monterey, Sotheby's. This is 1967 Ferrari 365 California Spider by Pininfarina. Estimates $2.75 to $3.25 million. Now, among the rarest and most exclusive of all production open-top Ferrari models, the 9th of only 14 examples ever built, This one has Ferrari Classic A Red Brick certification, matching numbers engine, gearbox, rear axle bodywork, offered from nearly 20 years of ownership and only 2 owners in the last 50 years. Now this one's a red over a white interior. Stunning. It has a lot of wood grain in the interior. Front engine V12. Now this is the car that replaced the 250 GT short wheelbase Cali Spiders just a few years later. So this is a 1967 version. What's interesting, they only made 14 of these. All right, so that is it. Those are the cars that you have never seen before that are coming to RM Sotheby sale in Monterey. As always, I'll talk to you all next week. If you're in Monterey, please look me up at RM Sotheby's front desk. I'd love to meet you in person. So we'll talk to all of you next week.